Live.
I'm the Tez. I'm the Tez.
Welcome to the Tez Down. Welcome.
I'm the Tez.
Mic check 1 2. Welcome. Welcome to the Tez Down.
Party time.
Well, it's welcome to the Tez Down, but as you guys can see, we got a different layout. So that means
welcome to the Digital Dream Out the Ground podcast. Here's your host, Asif Ali, actually co-host, and with the co-host of the most, Cortez Branch Jr. on the Tez Down, and our other co-host, our guest host today, Marcus Montalvo, and we are here to recap the NFC and AFC divisional round and preview the conference championships as well as the Super Bowl, and talk about the outlook of our beloved Niners and Chicago Bears, who, we are all basically sulking in depression on this beautiful Martin Luther King Day morning. So let me open up the floor to ask my fellows on here. How y'all doing today, gents?
hey, it's a good day, man. It's I hate to say it, I wish that the playoff picture looked a little bit different than it does right now.
100%.
But it's a good day nonetheless. We all woke up today. We're here to talk about this wonderful sport of football that we all love. But at the same time, dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to sunset the 2025 season for us NFC and NFL football fans, as there's no more desirable football left in the NFC to even watch.
If y'all can see that, see Marcus can't see that. Cortez, you can see that?
Oh yeah, I can see that.
What is it?
That is a Bears helmet that is autographed.
Yes, sir. That's autographed by Mike Singletary. I'm Mike Samurai.
Oh, you gotta love Mike Singletary.
Yes, sir.
Amen.
He's coach of the Niners. He signed that for me when he was here. This is Richard Dent autographed photo, Super Bowl 20 MVP. For those of you who don't know,
Richard Dent
won his last Super Bowl with the 1994 San Francisco 49ers, Super Bowl 29. So, let's go and start off.
Dent.
Yeah. Let's start first with the beatdown of the Niners, because let's start with the Bears, because really the Bears are actually worth talking about, because I'm actually gonna throw it up to Marcus.
No. Hold on a second. We're gonna go to the 49ers game first. That happened a while ago. As far as right now, that happened a while ago. I mean, I've seen whoopings like that, but I think the title of the show was called Cops, and it was domestic violence. That was bad. That was so bad. Like, it's like they were beating on a special needs child because you had nothing. I mean, it was so bad. I'm sorry. Like,
okay, let's start. Yeah, let's start. Okay, starting off the top. Obviously, the Niners get dominated, as you all saw in my short that I posted on the channel yesterday. 41-6 to Seattle. Brock Purdy finished 140 yards a pick, less than 50% completion. Nothing going on the ground offensively. I think Christian McCaffrey finished with 2.9 yards per carry. Defense couldn't do anything. So anyways, let's go ahead and start with the Niners. The biggest blowout, the worst game of the weekend in terms of kind of competitiveness, the Niners against Seattle. Really, my initial take and my initial impressions as a Niners fan was that first and foremost, the offensive line outside of Trent Williams needs a significant overhaul, because when you look at how much pressure Seattle generated inside, them boys coming up, you got Ernest Jones. I mean, all them boys up front. I mean, I'm not saying that they have Myles Garrett on the defensive line, but that front four is so fearsome. And Mike McDonald has them boys just coming after the quarterback. I mean, especially with the fact that, obviously Trent is anchoring the left side. You got Pooney maybe on the right side, but the center is in the interior, which we saw, if y'all can see my shirt, Super Bowl 58, the Super Bowl which I attended 2 years ago. We saw that with Chris Jones, and we saw that with George Karlaftis against the Chiefs, against the Niners, both in overtime in that Super Bowl. Let me throw it up to my co-host, what y'all thought about that beatdown. First, I'll start with Cortez, with Tez down. Kind of, what was your take about the Niners' blowout loss to Seattle, and kind of, what do you think?
I definitely had more hopes for the San Francisco 49ers, as we reiterated on the last episode of the DDOG podcast.
Yep.
I think Seattle is one of those teams that is going to beat some people, but not make it all the way there. And if they do get all the way there, They're going to wet the bed because they're a field goal kicking team. How they put up so many points on the Niners, I don't know. All I know is the Niners looked like they just didn't feel like playing football on Saturday.
Marcus.
Look, man, we've been talking about this off air quite a bit, and I'm going to bring it all to light. And I'm going to keep on saying the same thing I've been saying. I don't think that the 49ers had their controller plugged in the entire time they were playing, because to perform as awkwardly bad as it looked, regardless, these are still NFL players. Yeah. You still are at a high level, and to see just the awkwardness of everything, it just looks so bad. I mean, defense was just missing. I don't. And then for you to go out there and not even hit the end zone once, I mean, basically it was Aaron Rodgers 2.0. I mean, it was like watching Aaron Rodgers 2 days in a row, because he never touched the end zone either. So like, well, that was, and possibly his last game. So when to see that, and then to know the potential, even though the injuries on the 49ers are pretty extensive. I mean, it's bad. Like, you guys were just limping into this game at best, and to then kind of come through and, I mean, put up a lackluster effort. I mean, people are going to be mad about it, of course, but it's kind of expected. I mean, there was really nothing there that they could do. I mean, Kittle was out too as well. So, I mean, you guys, I mean, there's no targets. There's no, I mean, what can you do? No offensive line. It's like looking at Bears games from back in the day, man. I don't know how we got as far as we did sometimes, or even to the old Super Bowl there. It was all special teams and defense, and you guys didn't have any of that either. So it didn't look like you were moving forward. It was pretty rough, just to say the least, man.
The 2005 Bears got to the Super Bowl because they had a stellar special teams and stellar defense.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
But the 49ers failed in all three phases of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things where, I mean, it's a valid point. Like, if you don't have your dogs, then you can't run the track, right? But at the same time, like, to your point, I do think there is something to be said about, these are all professionals. They're still the NFL. I mean, these are the best of their position, and this is a veteran team of the Niners. Which it kind of goes both ways, right? You're a veteran team. You have the experience. You have the resolve. And I mean, we'll talk about the theme of the season, which I took away, which I talked about my little short yesterday, less than a minute on the channel, which has over 1,000 views. But really, kind of what I wanted to say was that I just want to highlight the injuries from week one. Okay, let me just read this to y'all. Okay, the 49ers week one starters combined for a total of 74 missed games due to injuries. All right, so this includes Nick Bosa, who tore his ACL week 3, Brandon Ayuk, who didn't play the entire year, Fred Warner, who dislocated and fractured his ankle week 6. George Kittle, who had a hamstring, then Achilles later. He missed around 4 games. Brock Purdy, turf toe week 1, 8 games. Christian McCaffrey, he actually started off with 17 games, but he was basically limited here and there. But Trent Williams as well. Michael Williams, who went out with I believe ACL. I mean, and then Ricky Parasol, who missed around 6 games. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, I mean, to be honest, the fact that this team won 12 games is a testament of the character and leadership of both Robert Saleh as the defensive coach, going on your 7th-string linebacker, your basically 4th, 5th-string defensive line, both an edge and rushers, and then also, your corners and your safeties were also our 2nd, 3rd string, if I'm not mistaken, and then also Kyle Shanahan on the offensive side. Really, the unsung hero, which we're not going to give credit to, is actually Brock Purdy. Brock was not the reason that the Niners got destroyed on Saturday night. Brock was doing what he could with basically, I don't even know. DeMarcus Robinson played. I mean, all these guys played. Oh, here we go. Chase, my guy Chase. Go ahead, Court. Play it, Des. Play it.
All right, let's go.
For San Francisco. It doesn't make this loss any easier to take.
Let's look at these numbers really quick. You got 49ers lose 6-41.
Yep.
Brock Purdy was 15 of 27, 140 passing yards, 37 rushing yards, and one INT, right? Christian McCaffrey, 11 carries for 35 yards. That's almost no production for C-Mac.
2.9 yards a carry, bro. That's what it is.
And Tongas. Tongas is not even a number 1 wide receiver. He's 5 receptions, 59 yards. Just averaging over 12 yards a carry, or a reception. Sam Darnold, 12 of 17, which was nuts. See, this is what I'm talking about, Marcus. This is what I'm talking about. 12 of 17, 124 yards, 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
That's like a quarter.
That's
Like
a
any other
quarter's worth of
quarterback.
work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Kenneth Walker III, 19 carries, 116 yards, 3 touchdowns. That is someone who is carrying the ball at will. Is
Yeah.
basically what's going on. Now, mind you, he's still only averaging about 4 to 5 yards a carry. He's still only averaging about 4 to 5 yards a carry. But if you're getting a bunch of carries, then you're going to get those things. So we're not looking at like crazy numbers when you got 20 carries. 20 carries, 116 yards, not bad. Not bad. But as you can see the difference, McCaffrey had 11 carries for 35 yards.
That's just.
Well,
I mean, but there's a lot of factors for that, though. I mean, like if you don't have an offensive line, that's like standing in the middle of the street in the middle of a shootout and expecting to win when everybody else is hiding behind cars. Like everybody's taking shots at you, dude. There's nothing to protect you.
What's up, Joe Jet? Thanks for joining us. McKinnon in the building. Uncle Plug. What's up, Uncle Plug? But yeah, man, you understand that though, right? Like they didn't get production from C-Mac, and then C-Mac ended up injured.
Yeah.
For half of the third and fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's been a recurring theme this year, honestly, but to your point, Marcus, which I think is well taken, it's the fact that I think it's a combination of the fact that, CMC is the old side he's going to be the old side 30 coming up, right? And then also the offensive line, which I mentioned, does need to be revamped. Now, so I'm going to give C-Mac benefit of the doubt because he still averaged 1,000 yards receiving and 1,000-yard rushing. They actually created a position on the All-Pro team for him and Saquon to be all-purpose yards, and so C-Mac is now a 5-time All-Pro selection. But at the same time, the numbers speak for themselves. I mean, what we see on the screen right now, that's and to the point about Tonjes, see that underscores the point. The Niners they desperately need a number one receiving option, right? Because Jake Tonjes is not a receiver; he's a tight end, number one, right? And a tight end, if a tight end is your number one receiving option, I'll bite the Chiefs. More likely not, you have some personal problems.
Right.
Yeah, you're very limited. That's not going to really stretch the ball out and stretch the field out. So,
well, let's see what he's got to say about it.
For this entire fan base, and I thought that if San Francisco played a perfect game, they would have had an opportunity to win this game. And I know that right now there is salt in the wound. And for a lot of people, it is a sour defeat to put a dagger, to nail the coffin up, to end the 2025 season. But I think the future of this Niners organization is bright, but this loss was a disaster, and it was an avalanche that started right from the beginning of the game, and that avalanche and that snowball continued to gain momentum and steam all throughout the rest of the game. We're going to dissect it. We're going to talk about it. This is a 49ers therapy session that's coming up over the next several minutes. We'll talk about this game. We'll talk about the offseason, but I do encourage you to hit that subscribe button. We went live for every single Niners game this year. There are very few in the wild card round, and then they had to play on Saturday and travel to Seattle. The Seahawks, on the other hand, because they beat the Niners in Week 18, had 2 weeks of rest. This Seattle team came in as the more rested team, the more refreshed team. They were the better prepared team. They were the better coached team. They were the deeper and more talented team. And if San Francisco wanted to pull off an upset last week as 6-point underdogs and then pull off another upset in the divisional round as touchdown underdogs, they needed to play perfect. And they needed to play a lot better than they did in Week 18 when they scored 3 points, when they had less than 200 yards of offense, when they only ran it for 53 yards, when Brock Purdy only threw for $120, and when Brock Purdy averaged about 4+ yards per pass. They needed to be better on defense and stop the run for Seattle. The Niners did not do any of those things. And I referenced earlier, this game was an avalanche that just kept gaining momentum and steam as the game wore on. Right from the jump of this football game, the Niners took a Mike Tyson in his prime uppercut to the chin, and they never responded.
Look at these. Okay, let's break down these numbers. Ollie?
Yes, sir. Well, kind of Chase Sr., by the way, if anyone doesn't follow Chase Sr. on Chat Sports, I highly recommend you do. Chase is my guy. I love watching him. I comment on his channel all the time. He gives us likes, hearts, and all that stuff. So shout out Chase. Love what he's doing over there. So looking at what he, and kind of, I just want to, before we go into numbers kind of like the total yards and everything, I do want to kind of mention the points he brought up, because what he said about Week 18's matchup between the two, which was for the 1 seed, which we talked about last time we were on this platform, all three of us here, that was the game they had to win.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because really with what he mentioned, kind of, the 6 days of rest, going to play on a short week, traveling across the country from Philadelphia to Seattle, you're already down, God knows to what, your 7th string on like every defensive position. I mean, like, it's one of those things where it's like, you really needed the bye week was the difference between the Niners making it back to the Super Bowl versus the Niners now being destroyed in the second round of the playoffs. So, and also, I mean, Brock Purdy and obviously not playing to his full potential. Obviously, like you mentioned, 4 yards per attempt. I mean, that's just, I mean, I don't know any team who can win like that, except maybe the Seahawks, like we just saw, right, with Sam Darnold. I mean, they won with basically 12 to 17, 124 yards and a touchdown. So yeah, 4 yards per completion might actually work for some teams. So, anyways, but I mean, with that said, I do. Yeah. So let's get the numbers. So obviously, what we see right here, total yards. So the Seahawks had 281 yards total, 106 passing yards. Obviously, my sacks, 175 yards rushing yards, 4 out of 10 on third down, and time position was 31 minutes. Niners actually total yards, it was not that far off at 236 total yards, 128 passing yards. So they edged them a bit on the passing yards category. 108 rushing yards, so obviously like basically less than half of that. And then obviously, actually surprisingly, 50% on third down, but 28 and pretty close on time of possession. And so kind of where they stand, right now is like what he mentioned about looking forward. And we only play his full clip because I've already watched it. I mean, it's one of my favorite. Again, for anyone who wants to like get more content for Chat Sports, definitely watch and subscribe to Chase Senior for the Niners. But what we saw, what he said was basically just, yeah, I mean, the future is bright, especially on the defensive side of the ball for the Niners. Offensively, I don't know, because Trent Williams is 37, going to be 38. George Kittle is going to be 34 when he comes back to play next year. Juwan Jennings, definitely draft you. I mean, and that's another thing about overperforming, right? Juwan Jennings on any team is most likely not a number one option, but because he had to be, because their number one overall pick in Ricky Pearsall, who has not seen the field like for half the season, and when he's seen the field, he's looked maybe mediocre at best, like a number 3 option. Like Juwan Jennings has had to step up to be number one option, which is, one of those things where it's like, you really can't win with just Juwan Jennings and Jake Tonjes, as we saw on Saturday night, right? In addition to that, obviously the defense, right? I mean, yeah, you're down Fred Warner, you're down Nick Bosa, you're down Mykel Williams, so you're down a bunch of starters. John Lynch not making a move at the trade deadline is really what kind of bit the Niners in the, in for lack of a better term, in the butt, for lack of a better term, right? Because, everyone, myself included, were clamoring for, the Niners to make a move to get maybe Jalen Phillips from the Eagles, who the Eagles got from Miami, or Bradley Chubb on Miami, right? Who hasn't played that much this year due to injury, right? Getting one of those kind of, stopgap replacements could have at least given Niners a chance to not only, win some of these games, but maybe even could have potentially locked up the 1 seed even before Week 18. But the Niners front office decided to hold pat, not make any moves, and the result is what we have on our screen in front of us today, right? So, with all that said, I think that I listened to Matt Maiocco. He's also our Niners insider for anyone who's curious. I heard what he had to say. A lot of it, there's a lot of positive outlook for this team. Are they going to be the Super Bowl favorite next year? Probably not. Are they going to be the NFC favorite next year? Probably not, right? But but they do look like they're in a position of like a mini rebuild where they can just make some moves, especially on the offense side of the ball. Like, obviously get like a number one receiving option, build up and beef up the offensive line, find Kittle's long-term option replacement. I mean, really, Jake Tonjes is who they need to kind of, start to develop.
But you don't think Kittle's coming back?
Well, Kittle's not coming back till after he's 34, which is going to be October, November next year. So they're going to be without him for at least the first half of the season, right? And then basically Nick Bosa, getting another kind of reliable option. They got Mykel Williams. So maybe we'll see how they look again next year. Mykel Williams looked like our best run defender. He didn't have the numbers in terms of the sacks that you expect out of number 11 overall pick, but against the run, Mykel Williams was a stalwart. Like, he would bottle up dudes. He was easily the Niners' best run defender this year when he was healthy. Fred Warner coming back, obviously arguably the best middle linebacker in the game. So there's a lot of guys coming back, a lot of horses coming back, but really, like to the point we talked about earlier about Christian McCaffrey not producing, you needed great teams come from great offensive lines, right? Yeah. At some point, an organization has to make the decision. If you're going to pay Brock Purdy $265 million, you got to protect your investment. Yeah. The best way to do that You know what I mean? Yeah, you got to build an
Brock
offensive
Purdy
line.
ran for over 340 yards.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy, bro? I
Yes.
read that. I was like, bro, when I read that stat this morning, I was like, what the hell are they? I mean, what the flying fuck are they doing? G, like,
Brock Purdy ran
literally-
over 340
he's
yards.
scrambling for 350, 400 yards just because he's trying to, run for his life and not get killed. I mean, that's just insane. I mean, I don't know, man. It's crazy. I really think Kyle Shanahan needs to shift his philosophy. He's so stubborn when it comes to saying, yeah, we only take linemen if we really like them. So far, it's looked well. It's paid off well in terms of kind of Dominic Pooney and that stuff. But Colton McKivitz he needs to go. I mean, now we've seen it twice. We saw it against the Super Bowl against Chris Jones where he missed the block. He didn't miss the block. It was really Spencer Burford, but Colton McKivitz could have done more. I mean, but Colton McKivitz, especially being on an island on one-on-one situations, like he's basically a turnstile. I mean, he's not that guy, right? Jake Brendel on the center position, he's 33, going to be 34. I mean, he has not proven to you that he can be that guy either. I mean, I would say outside of Pooney, obviously Trent, and you do need to find Trent's replacement. Spencer Burford, okay. Like they really have to prioritize investing in the line. But with that said, you still got Brock Purdy, you still got Kyle, you still got Bosa, you got all the guys coming back next year. At least maybe 1 or 2 years of this.
So Kyle's job is safe.
Yeah, right. So I mean, it's TBD, I guess, for now, right? But we have to. There needs to be some changes made, because when you get embarrassed like that, like against a divisional rival, and you guys see them again twice a year, and they might be the end of the Super Bowl champ coming next year. Some changes got to be made if you're going to go toe to toe with that team.
Yeah, I mean, and like we've been saying, if you guys can stay healthy, then the team seems to be. I mean, at least pretty solid. It's not like they're but if they're continuing to be, I mean, huge injuries too. Nothing like like a sprained ankle. I mean, these are like season-ending injuries there, and it's like you're losing that guy entirely. There's no replacement for that type of caliber because those are your starters. So now you're having to go to your second string, third string, and even they're getting hurt. The philosophy's got to change.
What do you think about this? Joe Jett says Monroe Freeling out of Georgia is a good fit for their line.
Ooh, Freeling. Yeah, no, Joe, no, that's a good call out. I mean, Freeling would be a good fit. I also like what he said earlier about Juwan Jennings. Looking to move on from him at some point because if Juwan Jennings wants max money, he is not worth max money. So I mean, Juwan Jennings is a great number 2-3 option, but stepping into that number 1 option. But is he a number 1 option? I don't think anyone here believes Juwan Jennings is a number 1 option. I mean, he is just. He's had to step into role because he's been commanded to do so. But Freeling's a stud. I mean, there's a lot of good offensive line talent in this year's draft, so they really need to.
They got to get some offensive line help.
100%. And I think when we talk about receiving option, so I mean, we won't pick the Bears, but I do want to ask you all about DJ Moore because, well, we will talk about the Bears very quickly, but DJ Moore is one of those intriguing kind of prospects in free agency where it's like the Bears have invested so much money into him. And now you have Rome Odunze. You have Luther Burden
The first half of the season upset with the organization.
Yeah. So actually, So I mean, that's it on the Niners. That's my take. Do y'all have anything else before we pivot over to the Bears?
We'll probably hit them on the prediction side. We come back. We got the Bears now.
Yeah.
We got some Niners when we hit the we got more of that when we hit back to predictions and what are they going to do for next year? So you guys stick around for the prediction section. But we're going to watch this first.
Oh, here we go.
So, Ali, if you'd be so kind and narrate what you're seeing on the screen.
Yes, sir. Okay, here it is. Caleb Williams, 4th and 4. 27 seconds left.
Here we go. And here comes King Caleb.
Off our screen.
King Caleb, the king of the comeback, cardiac Bears. And
Bears.
It's crazy, dude. Like where was he? From what I understand, he was just in the corner and just kind of walked up, essentially.
Well, so I'll explain how. So I'll explain this, right? So on the route, Komet comes streaking across from the other side, so he switched from the right side to the left side, comes all the way down the line, and then he engages with the safety that's in the front of the end zone. He created separation from the safety. Basically, like picture people boxing somebody out on the basketball court. And so basically the safety was trying to box him out. What Komet did was opposite to what normally happens on one of these box out plays. But normally Komet would turn around, try to get in front and then be taller or be bigger than the
Yeah.
guy. Instead, Komet let him go to the front of the end zone and then leaked to the back left corner of the end zone to a perfect dime of a throw. Perfect spiral. Everything was it just breathed right down onto him. And then he used the baseball home run celebration, and the fans in Soldier Field were going wild until they went mild later on. So it's but I'll say this: that right there would have been the end of the game if Ben Johnson wasn't so cocky in his play calling.
Thank you, man. We were talking about this the entire game, and if he would just kick some field goals, you're paying Santos. Let him perform because he's mastered that stadium. So why are you not letting him perform? Because you're leaving with 0 points on the risk. It's high risk, high reward, but very high risk when you're just running it, throwing it on the 4th down, 4th and 2. Cool, man, but you're also 30, 40, 50 yards out. Santos can kick that. So we could have had, 3, 4 different times where we could have – that's an additional 9 points. I mean, so what are we doing here when you're not letting your team perform? Go by the standard. 3 downs, okay, cool. You're close enough to kick a field goal. Get the points. Because if you're going to go against a high offense, such as the Rams offense, they're going to score points. So if we were at a position where our defense was at least been able to put up a good wall for a good while. So why not score as many points as you possibly can wherever you can get them? And literally, we were sitting here watching the game, and I'm like, man, it's going to come down to a touchdown and a 2-point conversion because he's going to try to risk it all again and do something crazy. And it was an extra point. Okay, fine. We'll go into overtime. Hopefully thinking that the momentum's going to carry and we're going to just be able to burn through it. But then we defer. Take the ball and run, man. I'm telling you, there were some questionable calls in this game that I don't know, man. It is frustrating. Well, it's cool when it pays off. Mind you, it's great football when it pays off, but that's not smart football. That's
let's hear from the man and see what he has to say about his decision making.
All right, we'll go. Colston was the one that didn't make it to the end there. He had a concussion, but everyone else, for the most part, made it through that game. But
which is miraculous.
Disappointing result tonight. Our guys fought the entire way, just like they have all season long. I thought, this was very much like our team has been. And you got to give the Rams credit. Coach McVay does a phenomenal job. Coach Shula did a great job with their defense this week, and they ended up making a couple more plays than we did, and that's why ended up going into overtime, and they ended up coming out on top. And so, like I said, disappointing result. Our guys are feeling it right now. They all believe, man. They all believe all year long that we could find a way to win each and every week, and so it's disappointing like that. But I am proud of the group. It's a special group. I said that a few weeks ago. I believe that to my core. That when you're with a group of men for the last time in the locker room, and it's just not going to be the same going forward. That I appreciate all of them, the men and the women. Coaches, players, support staff, everybody that had a role this season. It was a special year, and this will be hopefully a feeling in this locker room that we won't forget, and we'll be able to use it as fuel going forward. But with that, I'll go ahead and open it up.
Describe the difficulty and the suddenness of this ending for that group.
Yeah, it's the NFL, right? Is you make it to the tournament like this, and the moment we knew we had to win 4 in a row to actually feel good at the end of the thing, and we didn't get that done. And so this is what happens: is it ends abruptly, and for the young players in the room, it's like, okay, we'll come in tomorrow and we go through the exit process, and then we go on, but the veteran leadership has been outstanding all year long. Those guys are a key part of what we've done. All those guys in that line, I mean, they've all played significant roles in us getting here to this point. And so, it ends quickly, and that's life in this league.
If you could ask Ben Johnson one question, what do you think it would be?
Why didn't you kick on 4th down multiple times? I mean, let's just think about it. Like, why was it that you got to go for the glory every time?
He had 3 chances to kick field goals in that game and chose against it all 3 times.
Like it comes a point where you don't need to be like, I get it. It's the playoffs. You're trying to do amazing things and stuff, but sometimes you got to go to the basics, man. Like, go back to the basics. They're the basics because they work. So why are you not going to the basics and at least grabbing points when you can? Because you're already in a fist fight with this other team. I mean, blow for blow, pretty much, and nothing happened the entire third quarter, surprisingly. So, well, if you're that close, and potentially anybody scoring could blow the game wide open, and you're just gonna let it go and just keep on
I
turning
think we
over
should
on
point
downs.
out how they beat the Green Bay Packers was they kicked the field goal.
Yeah.
They kicked the field goal a little bit earlier in that fourth quarter.
Yep.
Now it wasn't all the points that they needed, but they
Nope.
kicked the field goal and got some points, and then came down and put up an iron fence against the Green Bay Packers, and they got them 4 straight 4-and-outs, right? And then Caleb Williams does another miraculous throw to DJ Moore that time, scores a touchdown, ties the game, and then Luther Burton, aka Darth Luther, takes over. If you guys don't know, we call him Darth Luther because he chokes people, just like Darth Vader.
All right. Yep.
Force choking the Packers.
Or Latrell Sprewell, one of the two.
Or Latrell Sprewell. There you go. I do think that they're like I totally understand being confident and being a little bit cocky in your team's ability, but I also understand playing the chess. And if you see the Rams weren't executing, and they weren't, if you see the Rams weren't executing on offense because your defense is putting up stands, kick the field goal. You had plenty of time, as we saw. You had plenty of time to score. You had plenty of time to score. You knew that because you put up 21 points in 4 minutes, 3 weeks in a row.
Look at it this way too. You let it, you left it where not kicking even the last field goal. You left it where you absolutely had to score a touchdown no matter what. Where if you had at least offset it with a field goal, okay, then you don't have to worry about necessarily, I'm a big fan of offsetting it where it's not point for point tying every time. Offset it. So if you can get field goals to offset it by 3 points, 4 points, whatever it is. So when you score that touchdown, it now becomes it's a choice at that point for the opposing team, whether you're going for the touchdown or you're going for a field goal. But now you're putting a complicated decision on them when you've already made the decision ahead of time for yourself. Why is it that you felt to leave 9 points on the field is my take on it, really. I mean, it's frustrating.
I think that's going to be something that both him and Kyle Shanahan we're talking about are going to be feeling later on in this offseason, is that they left so many points on the field.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
Well, how many times the Bears get into the red zone too and just not score? I mean, they're on the goal line at the time.
4 times.
Yeah, and that's this game. We're not talking about the season. I mean, this season was countless times.
Last season, the Chicago Bears lost 7 one-score games.
Yeah.
They lost 7 one-score games last season. And half of the issue last season with the Chicago Bears scoring was they weren't executing in the red zone. And we saw that in the first 4 games of this season. They weren't executing in the red zone, including fantastic first play drives. For first drives, first quarter first drives, they have executed it fantastically well as far as moving the ball up and down the field. It's been putting the ball in between the uprights or in the end zone that's cost them. It cost them this week. It almost cost them last week. 3 weeks in a row, Caleb Williams, I believe, 2 weeks in a row, Caleb Williams threw an interception in the red zone. He threw 3 interceptions in the red zone this game.
Well, and kind of to the point, there are some parallels because you did mention Kyle Court and Tez, and I think some of the things you mentioned about the Bears struggle last season, the Niners had the exact same struggle. In the sense of not being able to win one-score games and just not being able to capitalize on opportunities when you get to the red zone. They can move the ball effectively down to the red zone, but they just couldn't score. And that was the difference between them being 11-6, 12-5 versus what they finished, which was 6-10. and then this year, obviously, that was the difference. I mean, this team just found ways to win one-score games, but it wasn't necessarily just red zone efficiency. It was just the defense also coming up with plays, and they found different ways to win. But I would say, to your point, because I've seen Kyle do the same. There's been traits of what Ben Johnson, what we're talking about here, with kind of be getting too greedy and not taking, kind of using the recipe, to just take the points. And we've seen that with Kyle. And the reason why Kyle, I feel like, has kind of done that is because after the Super Bowl 2 years ago, a lot of the criticism was like, okay, like, you get 4th down regulation. You could have ran it with Christian McCaffrey at 4th and 4. Why did you just try to take the points, instead of why did you try to take the points, but then force the Chiefs to go to overtime and then you end up losing, as opposed to, trying to kind of go for it and win, coach to win, So that's kind of the issue. I think.
But with that though, but at least you can say that you've exhausted all options. You know
Correct.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So because that's the problem. If you're leaving things on the field, it's because you didn't try, and that's what happened here. There's not a lot. You didn't go for the field goal. It'd be different if you kicked it and missed or got blocked or anything. But you didn't even try. You just tried to keep pushing the ball, and you can see that there was some struggle there in the middle of the game. So why not switch it up and try something different? Like, I don't know, kick a field goal, get the points. Like at least you scored something or attempted to score something. But you didn't do that. So now we have to go with the what if. Like the 3 interceptions. Well, what if, the one in the opening drive, well, what if he caught that? Yeah, there's tons of what ifs. But when it is a 3-point game at the end of the game in overtime, it doesn't even have to be those large plays.
They didn't have to throw the ball downfield. They could have ran the football. It was 2nd down.
Yeah.
They were 2nd down. They were
Yeah.
inside the 50. You have a kicker that has range even in the cold weather. All you had to do was run the football. You needed 7 yards. 7 yards is all you needed. You had 2 downs to get there. It was 2nd down where he threw the interception.
Yeah.
If they get I understand that, like, Swift is getting stopped here and there, right? But they had more success on the ground than they had failures.
I mean, you still have an guy, and I mean, Buddy was pumping them legs, dude.
Who?
You want me to say it again? Does it
Say it one more time? Who was it? It was Kyle Mananga with another Bears first down. That's who it was.
Oh, man.
And he was able to do that. He was able to get there. And that's all. He didn't even get a chance. I hate being a running back that doesn't get a chance at the end of a game when I know that everything in me is going to use it to get forward.
Yes.
3 yards, 6 yards, 7 yards. Might break off and take it to the crib. There was so a lot of people don't know this, but the guy in the middle, Ali, was the owner of his own arena football team, and he had plans. Look, let me tell you, this guy rented an arena and had everything plastered all over it. Like, everything was ready. The billboards and everything were ready. And he had a business partner. We ain't gonna talk about that guy too much. But we had our first. How do you sell out an independent arena football league preseason game against the former 3 league champions? So Ali came into the league doing the right thing. I'm gonna tell you straight up. He came into the league ready to take on all challengers in the independent arena football leagues. You know what I mean? And the independent champion 3 years running was the opponent for Ali's team. And we're talking about, how do you sell out an independent arena football preseason game? He did it.
That's some hell of a promotion.
Marketing, baby.
Yes, and here's the funniest thing about this, right? Before the game started, he said to all of us, because he wasn't the head coach, he's the owner. Before he said to all of us, he said, "Look, we're going to treat this on multiple phases. This is, for all intents and purposes, a game. They are playing their starters, as you can see, because they do not want to lose to a brand new team.
Oh yeah.
Especially with all these people here, all these cameras are out, all these people are here. We're not losing to a brand new football team. That's not happening. We're not. That's what they were saying. He said, "Hey, we're going to go out. We're going to kick their ass, and we're going to play as if this is the only game that we're going to have all season." Too bad those words were true, because obviously the league disbanded. Financial issues, as well as Ali and his partner not necessarily sharing the same vision after. Let me tell you, there was one thing that he made sure that we weren't going to do. We weren't going to leave points on the board.
Yes.
There's nothing worse than being a back knowing that you guys have all the talent in the world. And it was funny because he called me right afterwards and he was like, okay, I'm going to put together a team for the outdoor season because, this is devastating. He said, we probably had the best team in the league.
Yeah.
They ended the exhibition game early because we were beating their ass.
Ooh,
That's fun.
okay.
It
One
was fun, man.
of those kind of sore losers, or you couldn't even finish
Yeah,
the game.
I haven't found any film
yeah.
from it because they had. I know Ali probably has what he has still.
I think destroyed all the film footage.
Yeah, they destroyed the footage. I asked Chris for it.
They
Yeah.
pulled an Atari 2600
Yeah,
and
I
they
asked
destroyed
them
all the
to
ET
put it.
cartridges in the desert. They buried everything.
I was having a great game, so I'm like, I was having a great game, so I'm like, I want to know where that footage is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it was Court was eating them boys. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, it's all about mindset, right? I mean, anytime you head into a game and, to look at the Bears, look at Ben Johnson, his comments, and he actually heard Kyle's comments as well. I mean, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, no one expected the Bears to be as good as they were this year, right?
Yeah, true.
And when you step into any type of playoff atmosphere, right, whether it's against the Packers, whether it's against the Rams, with an MVP, Matt Stafford, whether it's, whoever, you need to come in with that mentality like, we are not expected to win. And by the way, the Bears were not expected to win this game, like by any or all accounts. If you look at the odds makers, look at Vegas, look at all that, the Bears were heavy underdogs. Like I think if I checked on Google, like the team stats, like they said 65% chance of the Rams winning. I remember Rex Ryan, ESPN saying, "Oh, the Rams are going to hang 50 on the Bears." I mean, the Bears they were counted out by all the major media outlets, and they were counted out by Vegas.
Seattle was hoping that we would win too because they knew that they would have the better chances versus us too as well. So we were underdogs all the way through to the Super Bowl. There was no way.
Exactly, no, 100%.
I'm going to say it. Let's not discount Vegas here.
Yeah, well, of course. I mean, Vegas is. Yeah.
There was a couple of questionable no calls. If you guys watched the other divisional game between the Bills.
Oh yeah.
Oh God.
Fuck.
Yeah.
If you guys watched that game, you would have seen the exact same play that they gave the interception to the other team. The exact same play they gave the interception to the other team. The Bears, they called the ball a catch and down. Also, the same thing with the Devontae Adams catch. He clearly did not have control of that football until he was firmly out of bounds. That first plant foot doesn't count if the ball is bobbling. You have to have clear possession of the ball and then make a football move for it to be inbounds and that foot to be considered the first step. How are you going to get a first step if the ball's not even firmly in your hand yet?
No, it's valid. But, I mean, Tez, you know how it goes, right? I mean, with money, with the Chiefs, with Taylor Swift, right? The Super Bowl, with the Rams, Matt Stafford, MVP narrative,
Well, the Chiefs got disproportionately 70% more calls than everyone else in the league.
Yeah, the Chiefs before last year, before all us three hopped on the podcast after the Super Bowl last year, the Chiefs were. I mean, there's a study that was conducted, I think, a few months ago, where the Chiefs were the benefactor of the most close calls and the most kind of, I guess like the most I don't want to say use the word rigging, but the most favorable calls, the Chiefs were like head and shoulders above everyone else,
But
Mahomes had what?
And I think this is where you're
more
going.
roughing the passers than every other quarterback.
Yeah,
and I think this is where you're going with it. But the NFL is also a business.
exactly. That's what I was going with it.
So and that's the problem. Like, as much as you want it to be as fair as possible, you're gonna also want to favor a little bit heavier on what the viewing public really, really wants to see.
100%.
Well, it also helps you create a narrative for next season, right?
Right. Yeah. Because
so Brock Purdy winning or Caleb Williams winning doesn't fit the narrative for what is good for NFL viewership.
Well, it's like wrestling where you're writing a storyline.
Right. You don't want to see Ben Johnson win right away. You want. I hate to say it, but I feel like they're giving Brock Purdy the grizzled veteran like storyline, and I kind of hate that for him.
Yeah, I mean, and no, one more thing I want to say is like, with Ben Johnson and really kind of like what we talk about the Rams, why were the Rams and the Bears the Sunday night game? Because those are the two biggest markets in this divisional round. Chicago being the third largest city in America, LA being the second largest city in America. I mean, of course it's going to attract insane amount of viewership. And so, I mean, it is a business decision. That's why the Niners had to go play on a short week, even though they requested, hey, can we play on Sunday? And the league denied it because it's all about viewership. I mean, the Niners were basically they were walking into a buzzsaw, without any without any
with no meat left on the bone.
Yeah, you know what I mean? There's nothing left on. I mean, you literally gave them 6 days rest, and it wasn't just this game. I mean, the last 3 games of the regular season for the Niners, even the Philly game, like they were. I think they played 6 games within the span of like 40 days. Or 5 games with a span of 40 days, something ridiculous. And so, I mean, I really think with the business, like to your point, kind of my original point, which you made for me, Marcus, like the NFL being a business kind of inhibits the fair competition aspect of football, right? It really inhibits the fact that, the right players and the right teams get to play on the right day. Everyone gets the same amount of advantages, so to speak. And I'm not saying Niners would have won if they played on Sunday, right? I'm just saying that, it probably would have been a little bit better than what we saw on Saturday, because you travel halfway across the country, you come back home, you're already down to your 5th and 6th string, defensive linebackers, your 2nd string safety, 2nd string corners. I mean, outside of Lenore, I don't know which starter from week 1 is playing on that defense. And
I mean,
yeah.
So the 49ers had huge injury issues. I think half of their roster has been injured this season.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, 74 games missed. I think that has to be, if not the most in the league, at least top 5 in the league.
It's the most in the league. I think it's if you add the next 2 and 3, they still have more injuries than the next 2 and 3 people after them.
I'm sure. I mean, it's just, and so to the point, right? I mean, given all those circumstances, the fact that they still won 12 games and they still found a way to be in this position, I mean, I still grade the season an A, because the fact that, I mean, I mean, if you tell me you're going to the playoffs without Nick Bosa, without Fred Warner, without George Kittle, without Tatum Bethune, who's Fred Warner's backup, right? Without a fully healthy, I mean,
first of all, I wonder how you even got there.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's what they were saying. Is how did they get there? Yeah. And so while we could beat this with the horse, let's go on. We got 2 segments left. The first segment that we have left is the predictions for what's left of this season. And the second section that we have left is predictions and what can either one of these favorited teams of ours do. And we'll do that last. Yeah. So the next thing we go is, what do we have left? What's left, guys? Let's find out.
Loser goes home. The winner, a trip to the Super Bowl on the line. Let's break it down.
Just hitting on all points with the independent creators today. These guys are awesome.
Hey guys, welcome back for another video. The NFL Conference Championship Round 3 is here of the playoffs. The loser has to go home. The winner will be moving on to the Super Bowl in 2 weeks. Everything is on the line here. It is do or die. We have some top-notch games. There's a lot of off-the-field news obviously going on. The biggest news, Bo Nix going down, broke his ankle, massive loss for the Denver Broncos. You have to feel bad for Sean Payton. This was his chance to get back on the top. You have to feel for Denver Broncos fans. They were so close to the Super Bowl, the number 1 seed, 14 wins, finished the season 14-3. They have a top 5 defense. They have a very good offense. They can run the ball consistently. This was their chance to get back to the Super Bowl.
So let's start here. How many times have we seen a combination of these 4 teams in the Super Bowl?
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, especially though on the left side, the Denver Patriots. I mean, you're talking about.
Seahawks have been in 2 Super Bowls recently.
Yeah.
LA has been in what? 2 Super Bowls recently.
Yep.
Denver has been in at least 2 Super Bowls recently.
Mm-hmm.
And the Patriots, if we take it back 15 years,
the
Patriots have been in 10 Super Bowls.
It's insane. I mean, it's crazy. Like, I mean, like everyone's like, oh, it's rigged, but it's really just the best teams. I mean, the best teams that find ways to win. I mean, there is rigging there, here and there. I mean, we can make that, we can talk about it with dead horse, but beat a dead horse. But really, I just think that, I think kind of to the point what you just made, it's just like we have seen these 4 franchises at least every single other year in the Super Bowl
for the last 25 years.
It's insane. I mean, wow.
And if you count the John Elway years, you had three Super Bowls there.
We actually have 5 there.
Yeah, 5. And then you had Peyton Manning. Now you got the Bo Nix's era, even though he's not going to be playing if he makes it.
Mhm.
You have the resurgence of the Patriots again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Think about it. You have Bledsoe, Brady, and now you have Drake May.
Drake May.
All by Robert Kraft, right?
Yep.
And then you have the LA years dating back to the Kurt Warner days.
Yep.
Or you can even take it back to the 80s. The 80s when they were good in the 80s against
Eric
the Bears.
Dickerson. ED.
Eric Dickerson and the battle against Chicago, like that was fantastic. And then you have the Seahawks. The Seahawks have been consistent contenders since the Hasselbeck era.
Yep. Since our guy Lofa to Tupu. Shout out Lofa if you're watching this.
Shout out
game.
Lofa.
Number
Shout out
51.
Lofa. Shout out cousin Dion, and shout out all the wonderful Seahawks people that are up there. Even though
that's the only Seahawks I'll tolerate on this.
Lofa's awesome. Lofa actually was gonna Lofa was busy when I was in Hawaii. I was trying to see him, but he was like, "Hey, I'll be watching, but I won't be there. I'm already off on the mainland of the United States doing some charity work." So Lofa's still out there doing his thing, man. And that's your buddy, and a friend of mine. It's actually funny, being mutual friends with him, and I hope to see him again soon. I know you do too.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
You probably got a better chance than me being out there by him.
No, I mean, me being family, you being family, everyone on this platform, we all got family, so it's like, it's kind of hard to make time, to kind of,
Oh yeah, he's a busy guy.
Yeah, but no, still for sure. I mean, so anyways, yeah, I mean, Seattle, so back to your point, Seattle has made 2 Super Bowls in the last 15 years. The Rams have made 2 Super Bowls in the last 15 years. The Broncos have made 2 Super Bowls in the last 15 years. The Patriots made 7 Super Bowls in God knows how many years. So we're but the weird thing is this year, it's kind of like a different, it's not Brady Manning or Russell Wilson or Richard Sherman level B, and it's
or Kurt Warner.
Yeah, I mean, you do have Stafford and McVay. That's the only constant I would say. Every other coach and team, this is going to be the first time being here.
Yeah, all 3 of the other teams have different coaches.
Well, except for Vrabel, who made it with the Titans back in 2019. Yeah. But outside of that, no one else. Well, Sean Payton.
I was saying Vrabel was also a Patriot.
Yeah, Vrabel was a Patriot too. Yeah,
he won as a Patriot.
It's crazy. It comes full circle, right? So, well, yeah. I don't know. I mean, this is going to be. I'm excited because I want to see if Drake May is a real deal. I want to see if Matt Stafford's really MVP. Can he go to Seattle and beat that juggernaut team?
I'm going to tell you this. At this point, I would rather see the Rams than the Seahawks in the playoffs, in the Super Bowl.
In the Super Bowl, yeah.
I would rather see the Rams than the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. I just don't want to see the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. I don't think that someone who they put up an abysmal number of offense against a struggling 49ers team. If the Patriots beat the Broncos, which it's almost a foregone conclusion unless the Broncos can somehow find some Nick Foles magic and a quarterback that hasn't thrown a pass in the NFL in 5 years.
They will pick up a Phillip Rivers out of nowhere.
Yeah, Phillip Rivers.
Phillip Rivers came back and didn't win a game.
Oh my God!
Phillip Rivers came back just so they could have somebody back there that was brand recognition because he didn't win a single game at quarterback when he came back.
He
came back for 3 L's and then got released before the final game of the season.
Credit to him though. 44 years old, grandfather got called that week and was playing within the week. That's pretty impressive. Still,
I'm gonna say my Niners ate him for lunch, breakfast, and dinner.
Destroy them. It was ugly. It's like 40 and 27.
That was fun. I like that game.
I bet you I could throw this football over the mountains over there.
Oh, yes, Jesus, Uncle Rico.
Uncle Rico.
So considering injuries and considering what we've seen with the Patriots' high-powered offense, I do not think that it would be a fun game watching Seattle's defense go against Patriots' high-powered offense with Seattle's limp dick offense going against the Patriots' so-so defense. That would be a boring Super Bowl.
Now, to go with that, from a business standpoint, as we know the NFL is, it makes more sense for a Rams-Patriots Super Bowl.
Exactly.
Yes.
Now, Realistically, though, however, I like to see dominating defenses play against high-powered offenses. I think that's a real awesome test to see, what the battle of the bigs, in particular areas. But then on the other side of the ball, then it's like, okay, so literally for half the game, you're excited, and then the other half you're not. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it would make more sense, and it probably will be the Rams versus the Patriots. We know the Broncos don't have a chance, and it's sad because, as we were saying before, you lost your quarterback literally at the end of the game, and that was it. Like, sorry, like I don't know what to tell you, man. We're about to go in near the next round. Your quarterback hasn't had a snap in how many years? 2 years, 3, 4 years? It's your backup quarterback is basically some kid on the street. Like that. Yeah. It's there's nothing that you can't jump to that high of a level in a playoff run already and expect to do well. I don't think.
Not in the division championship game.
No, of course not. And then against the Patriots, come on. Yeah, especially against the Patriots. I just don't think that it's going to be fair. I hate to say it, but I think this is going to be another 49ers era, a 49ers-esque kind of loss over there for the Broncos.
Ass whooping? Yeah.
yeah. I didn't want to say it. I'll let you say it.
For all intents and purposes, I hope the Broncos have insurance, ass whooping insurance. I think the Patriots are going to collect their deductible. So,
I do think one thing though we got to consider is the fact that the Broncos still have that defense, right?
Yeah.
And if that defense can show up, then it's anyone's game, right? Because I think really Drake May has shown you how good he is. He is the future of this league. This is his emergence, his coming out party this year. The question is, is this time now? That's what I think the question is, right? Is Drake May's time now? This is his moment to prove it, to basically bring the Patriots back over the hump and get them to the promised land, since in the first time post-Brady era, right? One thing, though, I think is that the Broncos' run game, I don't know if Jaleel McLaughlin and them boys are that ready, for the Patriots defense. And Mike Vrabel, with that defense being so coached, well coached, right? I think Sean Payton's going to have to dig down his bag of tricks to figure out something, because, I don't see in any way how the Broncos will find a way to win this game without Bo Nix.
I don't either.
Yeah. And kind of to the point, I think back to the Rams and Seahawks. Now, the Seahawks are, in my opinion, the better team on paper. And playing at home, they probably should win that game. I don't think it's a blowout at all. I think this is one of the last time the Rams and Seahawks played, it was decided by 1 point and 2 point. Literally, like last two times they played. So Rams got the first one, Seahawks got the second one. And the last time Seattle beat the Rams, they had to go to overtime. They had to go to a 2-point conversion to win 38-37 at home, right?
Yep.
So it's oh my god, I'm excited because I fuck both these teams, right? If y'all see what I'm repping, but because this is my division and I hate them both, but anyways, it's basically I'm excited to see.
Kind of like if the Lions would have gotten there, Bears fans would have been like, well, we're not the biggest Lions fans in the world, but let's see our division win something.
Yeah, and that's how it is. It's basically like the Lions played the Packers in the conference championship. Y'all basically hope that they both lose, right? So that's basically
the game just never happens. It's like indefinitely postponed.
Well, the thing is funny about it because there's no ties in the playoffs, but it would be funny if we saw a game where nobody could score.
Yeah.
Like, he kicks a field goal, they block it. He throws the ball to the end zone, he intercepts it. He's running free. He's free. Nobody within 30 yards of him. He fumbles on the 2-yard line. It would be kind of funny to watch a game where there's like 6 turnovers in a row when it's like sudden death.
100%.
At that point, they should just flip a coin for who's going to this is the 4th overtime. We're going to flip a coin because whoever wins the coin toss wins the game. You guys can't score. It is 3-3. After 4 quarters and 4 overtimes, it is 3-3. And we're just, you know what? We're going to flip a coin. We're tired of this. Everybody's tired. It's cold.
Everybody's playing to exhaustion. Yeah.
It is -6 in Buffalo, that type of thing. So, okay. So I got this for you, right? what do we have as far as what the 49ers can do in this offseason? What are some keys they could do in the offseason to bring them back to prominence?
Get an offensive line. It's literally that simple. I mean, I don't know why Kyle, who's been on record to actually downplay the importance of offensive line, why it's so challenging for him to just focus on building the trenches. You know, great teams, great dynasties come from great offensive lines. We saw it with the Eagles last year. We saw it with, I mean, I hate to say it, the Chiefs, right? I mean, by the way, the Chiefs offensive line got no holding calls in any of the Super Bowl victories, just so you know. And so, I mean, you saw it with the Patriots. I mean, you see it all the time. I mean, great teams come from great lines, right? It's the formula. It's tested. It's true. It's tried and tested. I mean, it's one of those things which you can't get away from. It's fundamental football. So get an offensive line, get a true number one receiver. Here's another thing I have an issue with Kyle's philosophy, right? I'm just gonna, because I'm basically airing out my grievances, so y'all just have to bear with me. So we have a lot of young receivers who are in the doghouse. You know, proverbial doghouse means that because they don't know the playbook per Kyle's expectations, he's not letting them play. And so some of those receivers are Jacob Cowing, who has, I think, a 4.3 or 4.4, like 4.3, sub 4.340. Like, he is a burner, right? Another one is Jalen Watkins out of Mississippi. He just said he rode the pine this entire year. I don't understand. Like, you know.
There's a weird philosophy going on in that 49ers locker room, man.
Yeah, I mean, what the philosophy is, Kyle gets his guys, he locks on them, he stays emotionally attached to them, and then he doesn't let them go. The BA contract should have never happened. You don't pay a receiver $120 million just because he starts crying about it.
Well, they got rid of Debo for that reason, didn't they?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't pay Debo just because he gets overly emotional, and then eventually he basically falls off a cliff after getting paid. I mean, then that happened 2 years before BA's extension.
Yep.
And then they came into BA's demands again.
Yep.
And now you see BA going on Instagram driving 100.
Well, here's the thing: he didn't play at all this season.
I mean, and he's going on Instagram driving. He's going like 50 miles over the speed limit past Levi's, you know, to kind of prove a point in his Porsche. I mean, I don't know what he's trying to prove, anyways. But
yeah,
it's just like, I really think this front office and this coaching, the head coach, the front office, they need to change the philosophy of locking into their guys. Like Cole McKivitz, the right tackle, he should. And on any other team, Cole McKivitz would have been cut like 2 years ago.
What's the weather like in San Francisco in February?
I mean, it's beautiful. Let's see right now. I mean, I'm not in San Francisco. I'm a little bit far out, but where I'm at, it's 49. But it's going to be 56 today. Oh, San Francisco weather is going to be 60 degrees today. So I mean,
it's probably only going to be warmer in February.
Yeah, it's only going to be warmer in February. So I mean,
we have an outdoor Super Bowl for the first time in ages.
And unfortunately, it's going to be played by either the Rams or the Seahawks. God, I feel like puking on the screen. You know,
so we got a West Coast. He's saying we got a West Coast Super Bowl
without the Niners.
On the NFC side, which I also think was done intentionally. I'm just saying, guys, there's context clues here. We had 3 West Coast teams with the possibility of making it to the Super Bowl. One of them was the team whose stadium it is. The other one is the team who was a couple hundred miles away. And the other one is another team, which is also coincidentally a couple hundred miles away.
1,000 miles, but yeah.
Oh, it's 1,000? That's
basically, yeah.
Long West Coast. Long West Coast.
Yeah,
New England is on the other side of the country. That is the only team representing the East Coast at the moment. Anything close to the East Coast, I wonder. I think that Denver might actually be closer to Chicago than Chicago is to New England. That's pretty interesting.
Okay.
That's pretty interesting. It is a possibility. So, you know, I guess me and Marcus will take away the next part. Marcus, what do you think the Bears should do to improve?
Well, actually, funny enough, Ali and I were talking, and I know that there's talks about what they're going to do with DJ Moore. And if they decided to change some things around with him, you know, that would give us more space to then improve our defensive line. I think our defense needs to be amped up a little bit because I mean, for the longest time, the Bears' philosophy has always been defense, defense, defense. Ever since the 85 Bears, defense, defense, defense. It's like, yes, that's great, but you also need an offense. And we struggled for decades to get the pieces right. And some pieces will come in, but the other pieces are wrong. And, you know, so
If they keep
so
DJ
finally,
Moore, if they decide to work it out with DJ Moore and keep DJ Moore, what could you do on offense to improve?
oh, well, honestly,
I'm gonna tell you what
I
it is
think-
right now. It's a left tackle.
Okay. All right.
Well, I mean, I think DJ Moore would be a good position. I mean, he would be much better for the Niners because we really need that number one option.
Oh, so is that why you brought it up? Is this so
Yeah,
we can
exactly.
start having guys over you? Okay.
I mean, think about it. If the Niners give the Bears on a 3rd round pick, would that be worth entertaining?
A 3rd round pick for DJ Moore?
Yeah.
No.
No.
I don't think so either.
I think
yeah.
it had to be a 2nd round pick or
2nd
higher.
round. Yeah. Well, I think
Yeah.
like the reason I'm saying that is because I don't know if DJ Moore still has like how many years. I mean, how many more years does he have to be?
Well, I think he's been a Bear for 5 years,
He's been a Bear for 5, roughly 3 and a half years. Yeah, 4
and then
years.
he was he a Falcon before? Not a Falcon. Yeah, a Falcon before
No,
that,
he's
right?
Panther.
Yeah, he was a Panther before that. So he's what, 7, 8 years in?
7, 8 years. And the thing is, like, he was there when Justin Fields was there. He was Justin Fields' security blanket, you know?
Yeah, he was.
And then basically Justin Fields, once he left, you know, he basically just checked out.
I mean, DJ Moore being there pushed out another number 1 receiver and sent that guy to Atlanta.
Yeah. Darnell Mooney. Yeah. Moody's doing good. I mean, I mean,
Everybody who comes to Chicago tends to be better the next place they go for at least a little bit. Let's just be honest, because the way the system was put to place, it was almost like we were like a really rough training camp. It's like you come here to get your ass kicked, like you go into the boot camp for the Marine Corps or something, and then now we're going to send you out there to another team to see what we've done to you.
Well, I
And
think
now
there's
the
a couple
philosophy
of
is you
teams and
just
a couple
build
of
up
reasons
from that.
why, Marcus. So here are some teams that never have an easy game.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start off right with the obvious one right away. The 49ers never have an easy game.
Yeah.
Every week is must-see football.
right.
The Bills don't count. They have easy games all the time. I don't know what it is about the AFC, especially the AFC's East, but they seem to have easy games all the time. The Dallas Cowboys, believe it or not, they never have an easy game. Everybody wants to beat them. They have easy schedules, but they don't have easy games. I don't believe that the Kansas City Chiefs have easy games because everyone wants to beat them into the ground. I don't think the Bears have easy games. Everyone wants to beat them into the ground.
Well,
And
these are
now,
established franchises, though. I mean, that's the reason why. There's a lot of market behind those names.
yeah, that's why they don't have easy games.
Yeah,
Because you want to market that when the schedule comes out. For example, the Chargers have not played the Bears in like 5 years.
Right.
That's crazy to think about, right? Joe
Yeah.
Jett says, and I think we can agree with this, the Dolphins are the AFC's practice squad. They got a new coach incoming too. We can talk a little bit about that before we go on, but a couple of things have changed around the league. John Harbaugh has been hired by the NFL football giants
Yes, sir.
in New York. He got $100 million contract. I believe $60 million is guaranteed out of that $100 million contract. And it's 5 years long. That's $20 million a year to coach football.
Not gonna say he doesn't deserve it. That man beat my Niners 12 years ago. So in the Super Bowl.
Oh, you're yeah. You know, somebody EMP'd the stadium that night.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
We almost came. We were actually the first team to come back down 25, almost 20. We would have had our own 25-3 comeback if we won that game. So that's interesting to think about. But I don't know. Greg Roman just didn't want Kaepernick or Gore to run the ball. You got Kaepernick.
I mean, after everything we saw with Kaepernick afterwards, is there a conspiracy that has been, proven?
I mean, yeah, I don't want to get conspiracies. I think just the better team won. I mean, the Niners came out flat. Baltimore went up 28-6 before half. I mean, 21-3 was it, or 21-6 before half?
Yeah, 21-6 before half.
Jacoby Jones versus God rest his soul. I mean, he just came out blazing with a kickoff return to start off second half before the lights went out, 28-6. So Now I just came out flat. Baltimore took advantage. You can't start off the game that flat unless you got Tom Brady behind center. So
do you think we'll ever see another Harbaugh?
Probably, maybe. Yeah.
I think there's potential for it. Yeah, there's still potential for it.
Yeah, but it'll be years from now. I mean, it's not going to be anytime soon. Yeah, it's going to be
okay.
No, wait, hold on a second. We didn't really fully touch on what we think was going to happen here with the Bears, though, because.
Oh yeah. Let's talk about that because I have to actually hop in a bit. So let's go and talk about the Bears.
So because we did a full evaluation of the 49ers, but as far as the Bears, Cortez, what do you feel is going to be? I mean, what do you think? Like, what is next season or even next few is going to look like?
I firmly believe that the Bears should do a couple of things. The first thing they should do in the draft is focus on reshoring up that line, getting an edge rusher, and getting maybe a second tier or third tier fullback, unless you can find one for cheap on the open market. That's what I would focus in the draft on is acquiring young talent, getting maybe a veteran rusher. Myles Garrett might be available. So if Myles Garrett's available, I would spend money on getting Myles Garrett or Max Crosby. That's what I would do. I would get another edge rusher, and then I would shore up the left side of my offensive line and maybe get a fullback to help Caleb Williams. I don't think they really need to focus on wide receivers. They got a lot of talent at the wide receiver position. They got two nasty tight ends that they should definitely keep. Re-sign Cole Kmet to another deal. There's no reason to go looking for a tight end on the open market. You got Cole Kmet, you got Colston Loveland. Both of them are young guys, a couple years in the league. You know what I mean? Colston Loveland's a rookie. Cole Kmet's, I think, a year 3 or 4. They don't really need to go and do anything with that. Both those guys are under 24 years old. I would go. That's what I would do. I would shore it up. I don't think they need too much more help there. And I would also just work on some things in the offseason. I would call some offseason meetings and practices, see what the guys want to do. But if I'm the Chicago Bears, I'm practicing straight through. I'm not really taking an off season because this hurt. And to that effect, the same thing goes with the Bills. Marcus, what do you think?
Well, before jumping to the Bills, I'm going to say this. With the Bears, I think that the potential is very good. There's a very high potential to have another successful season. I mean, for you to be a first-year coach, you jump into a new system, change things around with a second-year quarterback, and I mean, he's learned 2 different offenses in 2 different years. So now you're going to just follow up with what you've already been pumping into this kid. He's young. He's clearly ready to play. You get angry. I almost feel like he was doing it on purpose. That's how confident I was through all of these comeback wins, that he would just just pull out a Jay Cutler with low blood sugar throws, and then all of a sudden come back and start playing football. Like, I think it was almost like he was doing it just so the Bears got the play times, the prime time on Saturdays and Sundays, because it was almost comical how sometimes these things would fall into place. But saying that, I think that, on the offseason, they're going to have to tweak some things on the offense a little bit. I think the formula is there for the offense. The defense, we need some edge rushers in there. Montez Sweat needs some help. They're going to focus on him constantly, and that's fine. But when we had it back in the day with Khalil Mack and I can't think of the guy's name, but when you had 2 very, very positive edge rushers, it was a different game because then you had to worry about the pocket. You had to, if you didn't have a scramble quarterback, the pocket was getting punished. So then you were rushing throws, against our defense. And I mean, we love to cherry pick, so we will pick it up wherever it's going. But then also saying that, though, our safeties and cornerbacks, they've got to be a little bit tighter. I mean, when you're
what up, Mudley Von Eric? How you doing, man? Nice to see you in here. Haven't seen you in a little bit.
But to see, 7 yards, 12 yards, that adds up. You're just walking down the field. So the defense has to tighten up. That's really my big take, is that the defense has to tighten up. Edge rushers and the defense.
They do need to tighten up. Right before Ali comes back, I'm going to start our closing soliloquy. So, guys, this is the DDOG Podcast via the Tez Down today. And what I want you guys to do is when you get a chance, to go over and check out the DDOG Podcast on a DOG podcast channel. So this is where all of them are going to go when they're not live. You know, you can catch us over there on the DDOG podcast. You know, for our esteemed host and myself and Marcus. In the future, what's going to come up? We're going to continue with our sports breakdowns, and finally, it is the road to WrestleMania. We've finally gotten to the point of the season where it's the road to WrestleMania, and we can talk about wrestling again. There's a lot of things that have been changing in the sport of professional wrestling. We're going to talk about it. I know Holly doesn't like talking about AEW, but we got to talk about it some. We talk about some TNA, and we're going to talk about WWE and the state of wrestling and where it's going to be. So we're going to be talking about some more wrestling stuff over the next couple of weeks that are coming up, as well as the NFL playoffs, the college football playoff, and maybe we might get into some basketball. What do you think, Marcus? You can get into some basketball this year?
Yeah. Let's stretch our wings a little bit. Let's get a little bit in there into that. That'll feel like a proper fit.
Muttley says, I love wrestling. My last name is a tribute to Kerry Von Erich. I'm an amputee like he was. Kerry Von Erich, the Texas Tornado. I love the Von Erichs. I know a lot of people did not like them as wrestlers, but I did. I liked their whole family dynamic. And the movie was pretty good. It wasn't totally accurate, but it was pretty good. And, you know, they left out one of the brothers.
Yeah, those movies really are. So.
Yeah, you know, I'm a big fan of classic wrestling. Is the 80s and 90s really classic? But hey, it is what it is. There's also the Von Erichs, the younger Von Erichs, Kevin's sons that are in AEW and wrestling independently. We're going to be talking about that. So yeah, Muttley, I knew immediately the Von Erich because you know, as you know, Fritz, their father. You know, but I will say this: thank you guys for being with us as long as you have been over the last few years. We will be uploading more consistently on the DDOG podcast, and we will be doing a lot of the live streams here in this studio. Muttley says, yeah, I used to train and help out with one of the local indie promotions. One of the lads said I should change my name since my amputation eventually happened. So I did. Yeah, that was the smartest thing to do, man. It's also a tribute to, you know, the famous Von Erich family. And again, though, it's good seeing you over here, Muttley. And I know you've been active over there on the bin, and I'll be back over there soon too, doing some things back and forth as we just did last week. And as you can see, I'm a man of talent. I am stretching myself all over the place, and I'm enjoying it. I'm glad to be a full-time podcaster again, and I'm glad to be making content and talking to you guys and talking to my friends all the time, just about every day on these platforms. And this one's been good. This one's been good. What you got in closing, Marcus?
Oh man, I know it's not the Super Bowl we wanted, but it's the Super Bowl we're gonna watch. You know what I mean?
You might watch it. If it's Seattle versus Denver, I'm gonna go to work and not turn it on.
Oh, I'll learn how to see again.
It'll be background noise.
Yeah.
To what I'm gonna be on. It'll be background noise to what I'm gonna be on.
Very lackluster Super Bowl, which I don't think the NFL will let happen. So you know, and I hate to say it like that, but.
I'd rather go to a CD video store and sit in a booth by myself. Just keeping it real.
Man.
Why is there a hole in the wall?
Yeah. Oh.
What am I supposed to do in here?
It's like I thought I was watching game film. This is different.
This is not good. The walls are all black and what's the sticky stuff on the floor? Don't drop nothing.
Oh,
God, you do. No. Don't pick it up.
Man, it's gone. And once it leaves your hands, it's gone.
Yeah. It's a 3-second rule. You don't want that 3-second rule.
Oh, no. There is a no second rule in those type of establishments.
Nope, not at all. I will say this, guys. Go make sure you follow us over on the DDOG podcast. That is the Digitally Dreaming. It is scrolling across the bottom. The Digitally Dreaming Off the Gridiron podcast. Make sure you go over to that YouTube channel and subscribe.
Yes, sir.
Subscribe on the DDOG podcast on YouTube, the Digitally Dreaming Off the Gridiron podcast. I have been one of the three, and I am Cortez. This is Tez24. This is the Tez Down. Yes, Sports Unscripted, Culture Unfiltered. Thank you guys for showing up. We appreciate you, and I think we'll see you guys in a couple of days.
I'm the Tez. I'm the Tez.
Welcome to the Tez Down. Welcome.
Finally, Tez.
Mic check 1 2. Welcome. Welcome to the Tez Down. Party time.